Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I am Kishore and today we are going to solve an Arrow Sudoku taken from the China Online Sudoku Contest 69. The Chinese Online Sudoku Contest is conducted on the Sudoku Fans China website. The contests there are very challenging and the Sudokus are of impeccable quality. It's definitely worth a try. I will add the link to the website in the description. Do have a check. Moving on to the rules of the Sudoku. In addition to standard classic rules, there are some arrow shapes given inside the grid as you can see. The sum of the digits along the arrow stem is equal to the digit in the circle. So for example, if you consider this arrow shape, the sum of the digits in row 6 column 4 and row 7 column 4 will give you the digit in row 8 column 4. And digits may repeat along an arrow provided the other rules are not violated. So with that we'll start solving the Sudoku. And by the way, before that, this Sudoku was worth a massive 107 points in the contest and the total points in the contest was 600. So you can imagine how hard this would be in difficulty. So having said that, we'll start solving the Sudoku. Let's focus on row 9 since it has 6 digits. 4, 5, 9, 1, 7, 8 are in row 9. The remaining digits are 2, 3 and 6. So 6 is in row 8 column 9 and row 7 column 1. So 6 has to be in row 9 column 5. And these digits will be 2, 3, but 3 is here. So this will be a 3 and this is a 2. Right? Now in box 7, because of the 8 in row 7 column 9, we'll have the 8 in one of these two cells. The remaining digits are 1, 3 and 7 in box 7. So these two cells will be 1, 3, 7 and these two cells will be 1, 3 and 7. And in box 9 if you see 1, 3, 7, 6, 8 have been placed already. Remaining digits are 2, 4, 5 and 9. Because of this 4 will have the 4 in one of these two cells. And 2 cannot be obviously in these two cells because then you would have to have 1 and 1 to get the 2. So 2 cannot be in a circle. So 2 will be in these two cells. The remaining digits are 5 and 9, right? So 9 cannot obviously be in an arrow stem because then the total would be 10 or greater. So 9 cannot be in an arrow stem. So 9 will be in one of these two cells inside that box. And the remaining digit is 5, which can be in all the 4 cells. Yes, and now if you look closely at this arrow, if you have a 5 in row 8 column 7, you get immediately a 9 here, and because of this 9 you need to have 5 plus 4 to get the total of 9, but 4 is already here. So which means that 5 can be eliminated from row 8 column 7. So this cell it will be a 2, and now because of this 9 we can either have 7 and because of this 5 we will have a 3, right? So if it's 9 this will be a 7. And if it's 5, 2 plus 3 will get you a 5. So we can eliminate the 2 from other cells. So this will be a 4, 5 and this will be a 4, 5 and 9. Now we cannot have a 4 in this cell as that would force a 5 in the arrow stem. So we cannot have a 4 here. So this will be a 5, 9. So this has to be a 4 now. That is the only cell left for the 4 in that box. So now if you have a 5 here, this row 7 column 6 will be a 1, and if you have a 9 here this will be a 5, right? Okay, let's focus on box 7 a little bit more because there is no information absolutely from the arrows in the top 4 rows rather. So yes, so in this box 1 cannot be in these two cells, right? Because 1 can never be in a circle. Just the opposite logic of 9 never being in an arrow stem, 1 can never be in a circle. So 1 will be in these two cells. Now let us determine whether 3 is in these two cells or 7 is in these two cells. So what happens if 3 is in these two cells? Okay, if 3 is here, then you get a 7 here, and because of this 7 and 2 you get a 9 here and a 5 here, and this will be a 1, right, to satisfy the 5 total. Now if you look at row 8, 3, 4, 8, 2, 6, 7, 9 are placed already. The remaining digits are 1 and 5 which should be in these two cells, but we have 1 here already. So that is contradicting our total possibility. So which means that 3 cannot be here, right? So this will be 5, 9, this will be 5, 9, this will be 1 or a 5, and this will be 3 or a 7. So this we deduce that 3 cannot be here, and we already deduced that 1 cannot be in these two circles. So we get a 1 3 pair in row 7, column 2 and column 3. So this will be a 7 8, and because of this 7 here, we get a 3 in row 8, column 6, and we get a 5 here, we get a 9 here, we get a 5 here. Lovely. So along row 8, the remaining digits are 1 and 9. 1 can never be in a circle, so 1 has to be here, and this will be a 9. Now 1 3 5 9 4 6 8 have been placed. So these two digits will be 2 7 in some order. And for the 9, when you have a 2, you get a 7 here, and when you have a 7, you get a 2 there. Okay, so if you look at these two circles, they add up to 15, right? 7 plus 8 is 15, which means the arrow stems along those arrows should add up to 15. Now these two cells add up to 4, so these two cells must add up to 11 to make the 15 total. So they can either be 2 9 to make the 11, but 2 9 is not going to be possible, and 3 8 is not possible. So it's either 4 7 or 5 and 6, but 5 is here, so this will be 6 5. This is the only possibility. Now let's look at this arrow stem. It cannot be 1 5 9, it cannot be an 8, it cannot also be a 4, so it can only be 2 3 6 7, the only possibilities, but 2 is not going to be possible, so it will be 3 6 or 7, right? Okay, so along row 6, the sum of the digits in any row or column or box is 45. When you add 1 to 9, it will be 45. So we have an 8 here, we have 11 here, so total is 19, and we have a 9 here. 19 plus 9 is 28. Now if you have a 7 here, these two digits will also add up to 7, so which means these three digits will add up to 14. So if you remember, we got a total of 28 up to here, so 28 plus 14 will be 42, right? So these two digits are remaining, you cannot have a 7 here, so this will be a 2, and this has to be a 1 to make the 45 total, but it cannot be a 1, right? Wow, that is really complicated to see. I'll repeat it again. The sum of the digits in row 6 is 45, so 8 plus 11 is 19, right? These two digits add up to 11, so 8 plus 11 is 19, and when you add the 9, you get a 28. Now if you have a 7 here, these two digits also add up to 7, so 7 plus 7 14 plus 28 gives you 42, which means these two cells must add up to 3. So this has to be a 2 and this has to be a 1, which is not possible. So 7 can be eliminated from here. So when you have a 3 here, so it will be 2 and 1, but 2 is here, so this will be 2 and this will be 1. And when you have a 6 here, it can be 1 5 or 2 4, but 2 4 is not going to be possible, right? Because of the 2 4 here, you cannot have 2 4 making the 6, so it has to be a 1 5, but 5 is here, so this will be a 5 and this will be a 1. This is the only possibility. Okay, so now let's try to focus on the totals in these cells. We have 3 5 8 here, and it cannot be 1 or a 2. This circle, that is row 2 column 6, cannot be 1 2 3 5 8, so it can only be 4 6 7 and 9, right? But 4 is not going to be possible because it has to be 1 and 3, but 3 is in column 6, so this is going to be a 6 7 or a 9. 6 can be possible because it can be 2 4. 7 is also possible and 9 is also possible. Let's move on to this circle. It cannot be 2 4 7, it cannot be 1, so it can only be 3 5 6 8 and 9. Okay, so it cannot be a 3, right, because you have a 2 here, so this will be a 5 6 8 and 9. And it also cannot be a 5 if you look closely, because 1 and 4 is not possible because of the 4 here, and 2 and 3 is also not possible because of the 2 here. So this is going to be a 6 8 or a 9. Can you have a 6 here? No, because for a 6 we need either 1 5 or 2 4. If you have 1 5, then you are removing all possibilities from row 6 column 7, and you cannot have a 2 4 because 2 4 is already here, so you also cannot have a 6. So this will be 8 and 9. And if you have an 8, this will be 3 5. It cannot be 1 7 and 2 6. It's not leading to any contradiction. If you have a 9, it can be 1 8 and 3 6 2. So 8 and 9 both can be possible. Now let's move on to this circle. 1 5 9 is not going to be possible, and 2 is also not possible. So this will be 3 4 6 7 and 8. Now 3 and 4 can be eliminated because 1 is here. So 3 4 can be eliminated. It will only be 6 7 or 8. Can we have a 6 here? If you have a 6 here, you will have 2 4 4 and 2, which is possible, and 7 if you have, you can have either you can have a 4 and a 3, and if you have an 8, you can have a 2 and 6. So every possibility is possible there. So why don't we make some pencil marks of the possibilities here? If you have an 8 here, 1 and 7 and 2 and 6 are not possible, so this will be 3 5 and 3 5. And if you have a 9 here, 1 8 and 2 7, or 2 7 is not possible, and 4 5 is not possible, so it can be 1 8 1 8 or 3 6 3 6, right? Can be. So we have lots of possibilities for this. Now let's look at this total. If you have a 6, you cannot obviously have 1 5, so it will be a 4 and a 2. 4 is here, so it will be 4 and 2. If you have a 7, 1 6 and 2 5 are not going to be possible, so it will be 4 3. So it will be 4 here and 3 here. And if you have an 8, you can't have a 1 7 because of this one. You can't have a 3 5 because of this 5. So it will only be 2 and 6, right? If you have an 8, so this will be 2 6 and this will be 2 6. Okay. Okay, let's try to interact some digits here and see what happens. So what happens if you have in row 4 column 8 a 3 or a 6, because you will get a 3 6 pair. Let's see if you are getting a contradiction in any of the totals. If you have a 3 6 here and not a 2 in row 4 column 8, let's see what happens. So if you have, let's start doing the digits in gray maybe. So if you have a 3 6 here, gray is not visible, let's do in black. So if you have a 3 6 here, so 3 4 6 9 are locked, and you have a 2 7 here, so 2 7 will be locked in these two cells, and these three cells will be 1 5 and 8. We can erase everything, so these will be 1 5 8, right? And because we have 1 5 8 here, we need to have the 9 here, right? 8 can't be here, so this will be a 9. Now if you have a 1 here, you need to have an 8 here, which is not going to be possible because 8 is in these three cells. And if you have a 5, we need a 4 here, which is again not possible. And if you have an 8, you need a 1 here, which is again not possible because 1 is in these three cells. Okay, so this gives us that 2 has to be in row 4 column 8. You can't have a 3 6 there. Oh, that is really difficult to see. So we'll retrace row 2 column 7 back to its original pencil mark. This was 8 9 and this was 2 3 6, and 2 3 and 6 is not going to be possible as we saw now, so this will be a 2. So for the 6 it can be a 4, for the 7 it has to be a 5, but 5 is not possible, right? So 7 can be eliminated as a possibility there, so it can only be 6 or 8, which means this will be a 4 or a 6, right? So 6 has to be in one of these two cells. Okay. So because of that, we can place the 3 here, right? If you have a 6 here, we get a 4 here. If you have an 8 here, you get a 6 here. So in both cases, you get a 6 to one of these two cells. So this cell will be a 3, which means this will be a 1 and this will be a 2. And that gives a 7 here, a 2 here and a 7 here. And since these two cells add up to 11, so there will be 5 6 now, because 4 7 is not possible. So 5 is here, so this will be a 5 and this will be a 6. And 6 cannot go with a 3 now, so this will be a 1. That gives a 7 here, an 8 here and a 3 here, which finishes off last 4 rows beautifully. 4 has to go here. And now along column 8, if you look closely, 1 2 3 5 9 have been placed and 6 is in these two cells. So 4 7 8 are the remaining possibilities. 4 is here, so this will be 7 8 and this will be a 4 7 or 8. So let's take off the 5 pencil marks from that cell. If you have an 8 now, 1 and 7 and 2 and 6 are not possible, so it will be a 3 and 5, but 3 is here, so this will be a 3 and this will be a 5. And if you have a 9 here, it cannot be 1 and 8, it cannot be 2 and 7, it cannot be 4 and 5, but it can be 3 and 6, right? So again you will get a 3 here. The common logic is that you will get a 3 as in both cases, right? You cannot have 1 8, 2 7, 4 5, so 3 6, 3 is not possible, so in both cases you are getting a 3 in row 3 column 1. So this will be a 5 or a 6 for the 8 or the 9 to be satisfied. Now let's look at this total again. You can't have the 6 now because we placed the 2 here. 1 and 5 and 2 and 4 are both eliminated as options, so this will be a 7 or a 9. Can you have 7? Yeah, you can have the 7 because 2, 5, 3, 4 are not possible, but 1 and 6 is possible. Can you have the 9? 1 and 8 is not possible. 2 and 7 is not possible. 3 and 6 is not possible, and 4 and 5 is not possible. So you can't have the 9 in row 2 column 6. So this will be a 7 and this will be 1 6, right? So to fill column 6 now, the remaining digits are 4 and 9. But 4 is here, so 4 has to go here and 9 has to go here. And we can eliminate the 4 from here. So this will be a 7 or 8. And now we have a 7 8 pair, right? So this will be a 6 now. 8 is eliminated from there, and that gives a 4 here. And we can do nothing more, I think. 3 4 6 8 9. So 1 2 5 7 will go here. Still a lot of possibilities, but 1 and 2 are not here, so this will be a 5 or a 7. And let's move on to column 2 now, because we have almost placed everything there and there doesn't seem to be anything more. So you can't have 2 in any of these 3 cells, right? So 2 will be in one of these 2 cells. So the remaining digits are 3 4 8 and 9. Let's just go ahead and mark them. So this cannot be 3 or 4, it will be 8 or a 9, and this cannot be a 3 or 8, so this will be a 4 and a 9, right? Yeah, so you have a 4 here. Using classic rules, you will get 4 in one of these 3 cells in box 1, but 4 is here, so 4 is either going here or here. Let's corner pencil mark it. So 4 is either going here or here. So you can't have a 3 here, right? If you have a 3 here, you are forcing the 4 here. So 3 can be eliminated from row 2 column 2. So it will be a 4 8 or a 9, right? And you also cannot have an 8 if you look closely, because an 8 here forces the 4 here, and again you need a 4 to make the 8 total. So 8 also can be eliminated. So this will be a 4 or a 9. Let's remove the corner pencil marks. And if it's a 4, you get a 3 and a 1. And if it's a 9, you get 1 8 and 4 5. Yeah, but if you see, we have a 4 9 pair now, so that gives an 8 in row 3 column 2. So 4 8 9 1 5 6 7 have been placed. The remaining digits are 2 3 along that column. So we have a 3 here, so this digit will be a 3 and this will be a 2. And for the 8, 1 7 can be possible. 7 is here, so this will be a 7 and this will be a 1, and 2 6 is also possible. So 2 is here, so this will be a 2 and this will be a 6, but 3 5 is not possible because 3 you have here. So these are the only possible options there. And if you have a 4, you get the 3 and the 1 here, right, because 3 is here. And if you have the 9, you can have 8 1 and 2 7 is not possible. If you have the 8 1, you will get the 8 here and 1 here. 2 7 is not going to be possible, and 3 6 is not possible. 4 5 is possible. You can have the 5 here and the 4 here, right? Yes. So we'll come over here again. If you remember, we confined 4 to one of these 2 cells, right? If you have a 4 here, then you have to have 1 and 3 here, but 3 is here, so this will be a 3 and 1. And if you have a 9 here, 4 will be forced here, right? So if you have a 9 here, so this will be a 4 and this will be a 5. Yes, because 4 has to be in one of these 2 cells. If you have a 4 here, this will be 1 and 3, and if you have a 9 here, 4 is forced here and it will be, this will be forced to be a 5. Now we have a 1-4 pair along column 3 and 3, 5, 8, 9 have been placed. So 2, 6 and 7 are the remaining digits along that column, but 2 and 6 are here. So this cell will be a 7 and that gives a 2 here, and we can finish off column 3 now with a 6. And because of this 2 we get a 6 here, that gives a 1 and a 6 here, and that gives a 5 here, a 7 here, an 8 here, a 7 here. Now we have started a chain. We can accelerate a little bit. Along column 9, 4, 7, 9, 3, 6, 8 have been placed. Remaining digits are 1, 2 and 5. But 1 and 2 are here, so this will be a 5, and we can place 1 and 2 now. And this will be 8 and 9. And only possible digit in box 6 is 6. That finishes off that box. And along row 5, we have 1 and 5 to be placed, because 2, 3, 7, 4, 6, 8, 9 are placed, but 1 is here, so this will be a 1 and this will be a 5. 1, 5, 6, 9, 2, 4, 7. So 3 and 8 are the remaining digits. So these will be 3, 8. Now if you look closely, you can't have the 4 here, right? If you have the 4 here, 4 will either add up to the 3 or 8, and both will not give a valid digit in this row 4 column 2. So you can eliminate the 4 from there. So this will be a 4 now, and that gives a 9 here, and that will be a 5 to satisfy the 9. And because of this 9 we get a 9 and the 8 here, and because of this 9 we get a 4 here, that gives a 3 here and 8 here. And now 8 in box 2 will go here, and 5, 6, 8, 1, 4, 7 have been placed. 2, 3, 9 are the remaining digits in column 5, but 9 is in these two cells, so this will be a 9. And because of the 3 we get a 3 here and the 2 here, and that gives a 2 and a 1 here. And box 4 has only one digit to be filled, which is 9. 3, 8, 9, 2, 4, 6 are filled in column 1. The remaining digits are 1, 5 and 7, but 1 is in here, so that will give a 1 here, and 7 and 5 can be filled now. To finish off this absolutely very difficult Sudoku. Some of the deductions are really hard to see in the contest, but the Sudoku was adequately weighed accordingly. If you see, the main difficult steps in this Sudoku was deducing that 3 cannot be in these two cells at the start, because if you have a 3 here, we got a 1, 5 here, and that eliminated the 1 from, because of that 1 we can't have a 1, 5 here. The other major reduction, if you see, was that eliminating 3, 6 from row 4 column 8, which is extremely hard to see in a contest. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me solve this very hard Arrow Sudoku. If you have been enjoying watching our videos, please like and comment, and do let us know if you want us to solve any specific Sudoku or puzzle. We hope to make more such videos in the future, and remember to please subscribe to our channel. Hope to see you soon.